Hey, what's up guys, it's Walker here, and we got good news. I am here to report that we got good news. The Brawlhalla devs actually did a stream that I missed because I didn't really think it was going to be anything. I thought it was just going to be another, custom game stream like they normally do. But it was actually the most informational, educational, transparent, beneficial, stream I've seen them do ever in my entire time, being a fan of Brawlhalla. Before we get into that stuff, I just want to say thank you guys so much for all the support, and I actually need questions for a Q&A I'm doing for 1K. I'm pretty close to hitting 1K, and this video is going to come out before then, so I want you guys to ask me any questions you have about me, about anything I do on the channel, about literally anything. I will answer every single question that you guys ask, and you will be shown in a video. So yeah, drop your questions down below for the Q&A for 1K, and yeah, let's get started. I'm going to summarize a lot of what they said in this VOD here. I could make a 20-minute, 30-minute video like other content creators have. Costlix made a 50-minute video. Eggsoup made I think a 25-minute video. You can go watch those if you want for a more in-depth. I'm basically going to give you the spark notes because I think that's the most important, because a lot of the stuff that they're saying is not coming out next week type of deal, so there's really no reason to dwell on it too hard because they still have to work on a lot of the stuff. But this is all relatively good news. Some of it is bad news, but it's what we need to hear, and it's the transparency we've been begging for all along. Let's start with colors coming back to the game. A lot of the stuff that's vaulted, or I guess vaulted by the community wise, is going to make a return to the shop in a sort of way, whether that's through, mammoth coins or actual in-game coins or even missions. However they decide to do it, they are going to bring back old anniversary colors, esports v1s. I don't think charged OG, but stuff like that is going to make a return, so people can stop complaining about all the vaulted things. And I also agree, there's no reason to have vaulted colors. That just doesn't really make any sense to me. They talked about RGB colors, which is great, and they did acknowledge that they messed up, which is even better. That's exactly what we wanted from them. We wanted them to understand what they did wrong, and they did that. Unfortunately, it is going to stay in its predatory form. The gambling method with the 10 and the 400 for the foreseeable future, yeah, that is going to stay the same because they can't really reverse that since so many people already bought it. Even if one person bought it, they can't really reverse that. So it is going to stay like that in the shop. So unfortunately, if you won't cough up anything for this RGB color, then you're just not getting it. But they won't be doing something like that in the future, I promise you. They were when they were talking about it, they felt the heat. They understood people were angry. The next thing is guilds. Guilds, they actually leaked and showed, I guess not leaked, but they did show the UI for it, and it looks pretty good. Guilds is basically, in my opinion, the biggest make or break update of Brawlhalla. It's going to be the biggest update in probably 3 years, in my opinion, the last 3 years for Brawlhalla. So if they seem, if they mess this up, this is really bad, in my opinion. But from what I saw, it looks alright. It doesn't look bad. There's missions you can do, there's clan tags, there's its own UI. It looks kind of like the new event center we have. It's great. It doesn't look bad at all. I think it's all right. They did mention that there will not be a guild chat because they already just kind of understood that Discord holds the throne for gaming while chatting, so they're kind of just relaying it to Discord and just allowing the Brawlhalla Discord to just be like a hyperlink there, which is fine in my opinion. I don't think that's bad. So it also doesn't take away dev time, so honestly I don't think it's that awful. Another thing mentioned is how I talked about one of my other videos, that a lot of the characters lack identity, or the game lacks identity. They're trying to work on sound effects for the game. Now, this isn't voice acting, which would take way too long now that I talk about it now and think about it. But there is going to be an attempt at sound effects, whether that's grunts or special unique sounds on every character, other than just sig noises like, Queen Eyes that very dearly. It's going to be something that gives characters a certain identity, which is great. We need that in the game because there's too many ads running around on the screen all the time. I need to fuel Brawlhalla. I don't need to fuel another promo for another game. They also stressed a lot in the entire stream altogether that what they're doing cannot be done quick, and they are begging people for patience. They actually make a couple jokes and jabs towards the community about how impatient they are, which is kind of understandable because I see some people online like freaking out when they really shouldn't be, because this game, they have a very long tenured vision for the game, which is great because that means that that's confidence in us, that they believe in us to support them as much as we believe in them to support their own game. Like, no one's gonna jump ship essentially. So again, they're just asking for patience, which is honestly understandable. But yeah, that's all for that one. They talked about a port for the PS5 version for Brawlhalla, because there is no PS5 edition of Brawlhalla, because it is a very hard thing to do in the back end to get done. They said that it is not in the works now, but they do realize that they need to bring it into they need to bring it into realization and make it real, because they're losing out on sales, and because eventually the PlayStation, like, there's nothing beneficial for the PS5 Brawlhalla wise, because people who play PS5 get 120 frames, and if there's no PS5 edition of Brawlhalla, those players on PS5 playing Brawlhalla don't benefit from having a PS5 at all. They would have the same benefits as owning a PS4, which is significantly cheaper, right? Which is locked at 60. So PlayStation players are getting kind of cucked in a way. Like, PC still is the only, well, Xbox. PC and Xbox are the only people who can get past that lock to get, less input delay in their games. They mentioned, Stagebuilder, which is crazy because I didn't really think anyone was going to talk about it, but they basically just put that one to rest. Stagebuilder has absolutely no plans right now. Nothing is in motion for it because they have to give us the responsibility to be smart and not do racial building, like racist ideology buildings or, stuff like that. Like, you know what I mean? They're basically saying that they don't trust us to not make something inappropriate in the game due to its rating to get them in trouble. So Stagebuilder has absolutely no plans right now at all. None at all. Skirmishing is being looked into, which is great because it's not reaching the intended goal of engagement, which is understandable. Skirmishing is supposed to be the in-between between a crossover and a holiday, or in between a crossover and a holiday. And it's supposed to bring people to the game, and it's not doing that. So they're going to try to find a different way to make it fun for people to play, which is, they mentioned they're going to try to make their own queue for it that involves both of those teams, which is pretty interesting. So hopefully that comes to fruition, and we can see that in the game. That'd be a lot better than just logging on and getting a UI. So that's cool. Dressing room was talked about, the fan favorite on Reddit right now. The dressing room feature was talked about. Boda's actually working on one. He's like sketching it, so this is coming. Like, there's no way this isn't coming. No way he just drops this. He's working on a way to change the UI for us to pick cosmetics, which is great because I have a million skins in the game and I have way too many weapon skins, and I hate going left from right. So I'm excited for that. I can't wait for that to come to the game. Yeah, dressing room, a new UI for picking your cosmetics is coming. They did address lagging and skipping, which is actually kind of crazy. I didn't really think they had the balls to talk about it due to how bad it is in Brawlhalla, especially if you're playing server to server and you're like bungee cording. But they talk about it and basically say that if everyone played the game with light speed connection, in a fighting game, it's impossible to hide lag because there's nothing to hide it with, unlike an FPS where like there's hit reg and bullet detection and having your hitbox delayed or behind them to make up for, the lag in the game that happens all the time, the same as the lag that happens all the time in Brawlhalla. There's nothing to hide it in Brawlhalla, so it's a lot easier to see. So they basically are just saying that it's a big optimization issue that they're trying to work on in the back end, so it's being addressed, but that one's going to be coming at like a turtle space. Like, it's not gonna be very fast. We're not probably getting a change to that in a while, which is, I guess, understandable. They also mentioned that their mission is to cater to the free-to-play experience, which is all right. Like, I don't really have a problem with that. I think it'd be weird if you did. They're trying to give free-to-play players more cosmetics and just free-to-play updates, other than crossovers, obviously. And they also mentioned that giving just skins in the game isn't healthy, which I completely agree. That dilutes from the Valhalla shop and crossovers. It makes them less worth it. And they're also trying to increase the premium cosmetic experience with the Ascendant skin bundle. So that is probably the top tier we're going to have for a long time. You probably won't see anything higher than that for a while, which is good. I think that's already way too high. So just know that the free-to-play stuff that you're getting now, like Skirmishes, is the low end, and the high end is Ascendant bundles. A lot of the talk about the Ascendant bundles also branched into people complaining about the skins and some of the crossovers having too much animation or too much flash, like, of course, the lightsabers people complain about all the time. And they said that it's a weird dynamic because there's people who want animated color swaps for the game and want animated weapons, like progression skins and like that, like just in the normal game outside of a battle pass. But they can't do it because there's people who bitch and complain about it so much that it would be like shooting themselves in the foot. So it's like they have to figure out the battle in a way to work around bringing in animated color swaps. So animated color swaps might come, but they might not at the same time. They just worked on a dynamic queue system, like they just finished working on it, that's going to allow them to revive experimental, which is great. Experimental needs to come back into the game, especially for the devs, for them to test out new stuff coming to the game, how we were able to test out for years and years and years. They're going to essentially try to revive experimental so they can get like just a lot of easier feedback on stuff that they're working on, to give them better green lights instead of dropping stuff that's just stupid and no one's going to use or play, like, with at all. They're changing dashing, which is weird. I don't really think I'm ready for that, but I think a lot of people are. But they aren't going to change it until BCX is over, which means that this is coming soon, so get ready for this. They said that dash landing and dash changing direction, like changing your direction in dash, is going to change completely, like a momentum and conservation of momentum, like, overhaul, which is really weird. I wonder how that's going to affect a lot of it. And Photo even said that it might tie into the speed stat, so it makes characters like Thea, it makes their speed stat actually, like, really matter. So speed is going to get a indirect buff with this dash change coming after BCX. They also talked about Dex, finally. Oh my god, they actually talked about Dex. Dex is getting a change. They said that Dex is 100% getting a change. And Photo mentioned that their biggest spitball that they like so far is that Dex is going to change to how long a character can hold their weapon. So someone like Taros, who has low Dex, is going to have his weapon break way faster. He said way faster, which is kind of, I don't know about way faster, but way faster than someone who has high Dex like Cassidy. Like, Cassidy's going to hold on to her hammer way longer than Taros would hold on to his, which I think is great. I think that's fine. And the last thing that I have written down from basically the entire 2-hour stream is that they hired a designated UI artist. They didn't have one before because he left to go work on another game. Now they have a designated UI artist, which means a lot of the crappy, like gross looking UI is 100% going to be changed to something a lot more appealing and a lot more, like, nice to the eyes, which I'm very excited for. I think that's an amazing change. And that's about all. Like, I really just swam through that. I'm not gonna lie, I went really fast, which is good because a lot of the stuff people are making videos on is a little you're dragging it a little bit. But I'm excited. This is a great step in an amazing direction for Brawlhalla. I think this is a good change of pace. We need more things like this. I want more streams like this, exactly like this. If you haven't, you should go watch their VOD. It's up on their Twitch. You should go watch it for yourself. It's pretty personal. You kind of almost feel like you're in the room with them talking about the same game that you both love, and it's really just inspirational in my opinion. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for tuning in. I am so excited for the 1K special. I'm working on it right now. I'm working on a new podcast episode and so much other stuff, bro. I'm so hyped. It's not even funny. Remember, if you have a question for the Q&A, please drop it down below. I want to reply to it. I'm not going to reply to any of them. I'm going to like them. And then when I make the video at 1K and drop it, you will see yourself in the video and I'll reply to it with my voice. It's going to be awesome. I love you guys so much. Thank you guys so much for watching. And yeah, I'll see you all next time. Sometimes I get stuck inside my head, and I could give a fuck about what you said.